Hey, welcome to the Summit Host Hangout podcast, where you'll learn how to host a high converting virtual summit that leads to your biggest signature offer launch yet. I'm your host, Krista from Summit in a Box, and we get to talk about getting your summit and business found in searches, including with AI platforms today. And I'm so excited about this topic and to be bringing it to this podcast. So, to give you some background information on our guest, Maria Elena Duron is a certified chief AI officer, visibility strategist, and the founder of Smart Brand System, where she helps businesses get found faster in our AI powered world. She's on the national training team for Google. She speaks for brands like Google and Monster and Constant Contact. And she bridges the gap between traditional SEO and the new world of AI search, which I know like literally all of us need help with right now. And what I love about what she does is that her approach to all of this, like very techie, robotic sounding stuff, is actually very human centered. And she's focused on helping businesses get found without losing that human spark that sets them apart. So that is what caught my attention. That is why she's here. And without further ado, let's dive in and talk with Maria of Smart Brand System. Welcome.
Thank you, Krista. I feel so welcome and what a wonderful introduction. Thank you for letting me be here. I'm excited to have participated in one of your summits as well. So I'm excited to be here and talking about something that a lot of people get overwhelmed by.
Yes. And like, I have shied away from having anything even close to SEO on this pod. We've had over 300 episodes of this podcast, and you are the first one on talking about SEO. And it was the way you spoke about it at the summit, the way people responded and were actually excited about it, about this topic that a lot of people don't find that interesting. People love the way you teach this topic. So like, I am, likewise honored to have you here. I am curious to hear about your journey a little bit from traditional SEO to becoming a certified chief AI officer. That's an awesome title, by the way. But like, what made you realize that this industry needed to evolve beyond just like classic SEO?
I think it was as we saw all the changes happening, with 2020, of course, everybody was thrown into a different environment. And because I wasn't now on the road as much or in the plane on stages as much and everything was webinar based, now I was looking at some of the changes that were happening. And I was actually introduced to AI back in November 2021. So if you'll remember, AI wasn't available to the general public till November 2022, so a whole year later. So I had access to it a year beforehand, and I started looking at some of the things that they were doing with AI and what you could actually test out with it, and it became very exciting. So of course I started talking about it, and everybody's like, what is she talking about? I don't even know. I don't see any of this yet. But I started playing with it, experimenting with it, and I saw that it was something that was really going to change who we are as far as our environment. And a lot of people think that it's just a tool, and I explained to them, really, because search and everything now is so powered by some format of AI that it's really a change to our operating system. Kind of like your Windows operating system, or if you're a Mac, you're Apple, so you love Macs, and it's different operating systems. AI is a different operating system. Some people are going to take to it right away, some are not, but all of search is powered by it now. And that's something we all have to be aware of as small businesses, because we have to get found.
Mm-hmm. And I love that about your take on SEO and all of this. You're like, it's not dead, it's evolving, and you have to stay on top of these changes that are happening. So like, what would you say, we're talking primarily to summit hosts here. What would you say summit hosts need to know about how search and discovery and things like that are changing, especially with these AI platforms?
Summit host, you are actually in the perfect position to take advantage of some of these changes, because SEO, like you were saying, is just AEO is actually SEO evolved. The head and tail is just different, meaning that the start of it is no longer just keywords, because people don't just text in or type in keywords anymore. They're speaking to their AI. They're speaking to Hey Google. They're speaking to all their platforms. So they speak in full sentences. They ask full questions. What you're answering a lot of times with these summits are full questions that people ask. So if you could have those questions everywhere, being on your audio and your video, within any of the content on your site, any of your digital places, your socials, now you have a chance to be seen, and you know exactly the questions people are asking. And that's what I love, because if you think about it, when you look at like big companies and corporations, they have to worry about finding out first who is their client base, and then maybe even downloading a list and having to try to figure out, who they, their names, what do they love. You have, and you are closer to at your actual summit attendee, so you know what they're looking for. You have an idea of that. You know some of the questions they've asked because they've asked you directly. Now, if you can put that in a digital format, that makes it easy for AI to pick you up. So I think that's where people are getting stuck, is they think that SEO is dead. It's not. It's becoming full sentences now. Ask conversationally. And that's what you actually have, that superpower of being able to be nimble, know exactly what people are asking for, and start applying that to your digital properties. Like, for example, if you bring in speakers to your actual summit, those speaker pages are rich with so much information if you let them be, and understand it's not a one and done. Because you have this digital property, don't just let it be this event that you're having, this one summit, and then it's gone, taking everything down, and any SEO or any authority that you've built with it is now gone with it too. You can build on that, but again, it's just being able to shift to know that it takes time for AI to find you for any search, and it takes time to be able to be seen as, okay, this is what I do, this is who I serve, these are the problems we solve, or these are this is the content in our summit that we're actually going to have available for people. So once you have that, don't just delete it and start with a new page. Make sure that you're taking advantage of the full fact that you've got some confidence building that you've done already with the search engine and with all the platforms. Lean into that. Use it to your advantage.
Okay, I love this. And this is something that a mistake I have made. And I want to kind of dive into it a little bit with you, see if we can put our heads together here. So when we're talking about speaker pages, we don't want to keep the speaker's video available forever, but would you say it could work well to keep like a snippet of the video available and like a summary of it, and an option for them to like get a low ticket offer of the full bundle or something like that, so that information can stay available to SEO? Or what would you suggest?
Most definitely, the more that you can keep speakers' information there, because speakers or any of your guests that are attending, they have their own digital presence and they're working on their own domain authority. And anytime we can link and connect with other places that have domain authority, which means that you've got confidence from the search engine when it sees the information and knows that this website has been around for a while, and all of a sudden whoever's running that website is connected to your website, or their information is seen on your website, you actually benefit from the halo effect of the fact that they are seen as somebody who's confident. The search engine, as well as people, believe that birds of a feather flock together. So they believe that, you know what, here's somebody who knows what they're talking about connected to somebody else, so they probably know what they're talking about, is what actually happens within any search algorithm. So when you have that confidence building already on a speaker's page, you can use like snippets from their actual talk, or even ask them, if they've got snippets, shorts, or TikToks or reels that they want to share on your actual page. And if they want to host it back from their page or host it on YouTube, which gets great search visibility, this gives you a chance to then have all those outbound links that, you hear it all the time. Outbound links are very important, but that confirms that you have trust because you're working with credible sources. All of a sudden you get that halo effect of being a credible source.
Wow. Okay. I love this. I love this for a couple of reasons. One, not only does it benefit us, but it benefits our speakers as well. And I am all about that. So like right there, I could have been sold on it right there, but then, there's so much of this benefit for us too and our audiences. I'm excited for this. I can see my team, like we will be making that change in our very next summit to have a plan, like it's, a snippet for each video, put that there, put speaker information, leave the pages up rather than right now we redirect them to a page where we're like, sorry, it's expired, get the all access pass. We're going to leave it there. And, we'll still push people to the all access pass, but it will be a much more informative page, both for attendees who click to try to watch a presentation that's expired, but then for this SEO purpose as well.
That's a great way to structure it. Yes.
I feel like my clients and students will cry when I'm like, okay, I'm making your task list even longer. Here's what we're going to do now instead. But like this, we could kind of see this as an advanced strategy because I can see how this would be really beneficial.
Yes. And you can lean into your speakers. Think about, you know what your community wants and the questions that they have because you're an expert in your community. But the speakers are experts in their subject matter. So ask the speakers, What are the top 5 or 10 frequently asked questions that you have? And if they can answer that in snippets that you showcase on their speaker page and then direct them back to the speaker page or direct them to your all access pass, that also is something that is great to be seen in search, in actually AI search. Because if you think about it, AI search is looking for those FAQs, those frequently asked questions. And that's the format it prefers to showcase things in the search or the AI platforms.
Wow. Okay. I love that. Thank you. I feel like that right there could be our episode because that is just such a good tip. I'm curious though if you have any like a specific approach to getting virtual summits found faster. These aren't typically things we're promoting months and months in advance. What can we do? Or what can someone do even maybe they do it months in advance. They just don't know what to do right now. So what steps should a host take like from the moment they decide they're going to host a summit?
Once you host a summit, make sure that all of your digital properties, so if you are starting Facebook groups or if you have even any of your own, personal or business socials, that everything is showcasing that and it's mirroring that. So the name should be the same. What you're looking for is expertise. So it's called EAT, expertise, experience, authority, and trustworthiness. And that leans into some of the basics. Name, address, if you've got your address available. For some people, they want to put or they need to put, depending on what they're doing for their business, they have to put, what city or location that they're at. And then a phone number if you're listing all that. Those are some basic things that all search tools use, even AI. You also want to make sure that you're expressing who you serve. So who's your audience, and make sure that is something that we can confirm in lots of different places, not just from your socials as far as your profile, but also that can be confirmed in any of your digital properties. So your websites too, or your web pages. That's really important. And a lot of people don't think about that because they get so excited in the new idea that they're about to launch, or maybe the new conference or the new masterclass or summit. And they don't think about the fact that there needs to be some name consistency, or else they're starting at square one. And it takes a long time to be able to do that. Now, a basic that a lot of people don't think about is that most of your digital properties, especially a website, has and can be attached to what's known as a Google Search Console. And I know I'm going to be talking about Google, and I understand. I hear a lot of people saying, well, they don't Google anymore. They don't search by Google. Everything's done by AI. Understand, all of the AI platforms lean into Google search. Google's been doing this since 2004. And I was actually in an AI builders forum 2 weeks ago where Lovable, ChatGPT, Replit were all in there talking about how they use Google as their background and the back search engine that's being used for all of their tools. So understand, all of AI does use that. So it's still good to follow Google's best practices because it means you're solid gold for all the other ones. So when I say Google Search Console, a lot of people are wondering, what is that? It is a free tool that connects to your website and lets you know how the search engine sees you. So for example, if you launch a new summit page, I would never launch it and just hope that it's going to be published and visible to Google, because it could take 90 to 180 days for Googlebot to find you. And understand, if Googlebot hasn't found you, then AI search may not have found you either. But if you enter it into Google Search Console, so if you think of, there's you've got the whole internet, you've got all the World Wide Web, if you will, you've got all of that, and you have a door to the library that catalogs the entire World Wide Web. That is the door to Google. So you want to put your digital property into the library so you get cataloged. If you don't, then you're hoping for Googlebot to find you. And like I said, Googlebot's great, but it can take 180 days. And that could be the time that you needed to be able to promote your summit, compared to if you enter it into the library, it's cataloged. It can be done and cataloged within a few hours. And now it's seen and visible to everything in search.
Wow. Okay. 180 days. That is wild. And this is making me think of a little change we can make too. Instead of waiting until 2, 3 weeks before your summit to release your registration page, when it's ready, most people have it ready months before, they just wait, release it as a waitlist page for the sake of AI or for the sake of SEO, if nothing else, and have that available there. And whether you push traffic right away or later, at least it's there to start.
Or even a coming soon, so that way it's seen, but make sure that you enter it, so you actually index it into your Google Search Console, which means you're just letting it know, hey, I got a new page and I want you to know this is a part of my digital property.
Wow. Okay. That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. I feel like you've given us so much gold with these things.
You're welcome. And I love to walk people through how to do that too. So feel free. And I love to do on Wednesdays. A lot of times I do free webinars. So sometimes I'll do walkthroughs there too if people are asking me.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Okay, we're definitely going to get links and stuff for that so we can put that in the show notes because I know we will have people like, yes, please show me. This sounds complicated. Help me. And I know you make it so easy. One other thing I wanted to hit on is like your human led focus. You talk about human led like being the key to surviving AI changes. What does that look like in practice?
So in practice, it's you applying your expertise of knowing who your best audience is, the way they search, what are the words that they actually use when they're searching. You need to know them and be the expert on them. You're the subject matter expert. You need to be an expert on who your audience is too. That is being human led. When you lean into AI to be the one to do that, what happens is AI doesn't have a unique voice. A lot of times when you're using AI, and if you don't know some of the ways to brainstorm with AI, it can come off as almost generic. There are certain words like no fluff, being able to, escalate something. I see a lot of no fluff, shipping things. Those are some key words that right away, you're reading something that is AI written. And a lot of people end with AI, and it really is that you can start with AI. It's a great brainstorming partner, but then you've got to put your human layer because you have a unique perspective. AI doesn't have a side or it doesn't have a point of view at all. It is mirroring whatever you are saying. So a lot of times I challenge my AI even to look at things and make sure it helps me so that I'm not blindsided. So I'm not without that additional advisor that is seeing something that I might not see. So I'll tell AI, you know what, I don't want you to be a yes person. I want pushback. I'm expecting to see some challenges on this. I don't want you to just agree with me because AI is actually mirroring what you're doing most often. So you think it's a great idea, but it's just AI mirroring you. So I want it to look for those other aspects that it can truly help. But that is what being human led is. And that's that layer of actually ending with the human filter, checking it along the way, and training your AI as you're going along the way. Average AI use is what everybody will do when they just take content and they just copy and paste it directly from AI. And unfortunately, that's where we actually shed the humanness that we have. And people are looking for that. They feel it. Even when they're reading something, they know something is not right, something's off, or they're hearing somebody read a script. And because we do not have that human connection, that's where that content will fail. So you have a great opportunity by making sure that you put your unique filter over anything.
I love that you are the last layer. It's not AI that's the last layer. For our accelerator clients, I do like critiques of all of their pages, and it's probably gotten to 2 to 4 a month where I'll be doing these critiques and I'm like, this sounds like a robot wrote this. Can we go back and add a little bit more you back to this? Some of them, their audiences wouldn't know, but if I am noticing it and if I'm catching it, there's going to be some kind of connection missing with their audience, even if they're not saying AI wrote that like I am. So that's such a great point.
Exactly. Your North Star needs to come across there. You are so passionate about what you're doing and why you're doing it. It's something that AI has trouble being able to, because it doesn't have that point of view, put its mind around. So you can put that in. You're going to use some words that maybe are similar to what AI would said, but it's still going to be unique to you. Like I always use the phrase get found fast. AI will always want to change that to become visible, be seen right away. And those are words that do align right with that get found fast. But everybody knows if they've ever been in any session with me that sometime I'm going to say get found fast. That is who I am. And so to not have that in any content kind of comes across that somebody else write it or did AI write it?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. There is so much good stuff to dive into with what we've talked about today, from how you can, increase SEO on your presentation pages to how you can make your event easier to find and search to how you can make it sound like yourself. And I think we need to leave it at that. We have a short and sweet one today, but there is so much packed into this episode for you to dive into. So listeners, I'm going to encourage you to just take action on this one. And Maria, I know you have an incredible resource for us. I want to hear about these Wednesday trainings and where people can go. Give us your spiel. Where can they connect with you?
Well, sure. I have a great gift today. It's Save 10 Hours with 10 Prompts. And it really is about how you can get found fast. So see, that I tell you, that's what you'll hear and see all through my content. But then also every Wednesday, unless of course I'm out speaking at a conference, but every Wednesday at 11 o'clock Central, I do what's known as Webinar Wednesday. So I spend about 45 minutes to an hour covering different topics. Some people, like today, was AI and YouTube. How do you get seen with utilizing AI and YouTube? What are some of the guardrails that you need to watch out for? So I was able to walk them through. I actually take you through live demos because I believe that the platform changes always. So there is some slides to reference to that you can use as an outline, but this gives everybody a chance to really get in there and see what it looks like and see what it's, how changes are made. So you know exactly where to tap and click. And I do that every Wednesday. And then of course I have a free Facebook group where a lot of people like to go afterwards, just because in there, I like to hear what they've actually applied that they've learned. And then every week I talk about the latest updates that are happening within search and AI and how that matters to smart small business owners and to content creators and consultants.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Thank you so much. We will link to this stuff in the show notes. Listeners, take action on this. There was so much gold here. Maria is like a true expert, and you can't see her, but she puts off the energy of a calm expert who knows her stuff, and that's what she is. So take advantage of this introduction to her and what she teaches and grab some of these resources. Check out those trainings. For show notes with all of those resources mentioned, head to the link in the episode description wherever you're listening and go out and take action to plan, strategize, and launch your high converting virtual summit.